Good afternoon. My name is John, as you know. I had three brothers. One brother, I never knew him because he passed away before I was born. And then I had one brother that was 1 year older than me, and he was built like a boxer as he grew up. He was a tough looking guy. And he was nice looking, but he said he was as strong as a horse. I wasn't. I was tall and skinny. And we used to go swimming in the Irish Sea, in the sea water. And I could only stay in the water for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, then I would shiver. I had to get out. My older brother, he had so much, a good bit of fat on him, he enjoyed. He could stay in the water for about an hour. Me, no, 10 or 15 minutes, and I had to get out. But anyway, later on, as I grew older, I got used to the cold winds. It was okay in the summer days, wasn't too bad, but in Ireland you get mostly rain and more rain and more rain. That's what some people call the children, more rain. But anyway, later on in life, I guess I got fed up with Ireland, and I came to live in a place called Canada, where I still am today. I worked here in Canada for over, I guess, 40 years or 50 years, I guess, because I came here when I was only 21 or 22 years old, and that was 70 years ago, and I'm still here. I don't know what I'm doing here now. I'm in a rest home, I guess you call it, a retirement home, a rest home. For a change, people look after me. I used to be looking after people for all those years. In the beginning, I remember looking after my in-laws. My first wife's parents were elderly, and finally, I used to babysit them more or less when the mother was busy going shopping. I would stay back in the house and babysit the father. But anyway, he was about 10 or 15 years older than his wife. But anyway, finally he took a stroke. Then he was bedridden until he passed away. And then his wife lived for many years later. I think she lived to be 90-something years old. 90, I think she was, yeah. Had to go into a nursing home for, she finally got sick enough that she finally went into a nursing home at the age of 84 and stayed there for 10 years before she passed away. I was 94 years old, but she was really sick. Here I am, no relation to her. I don't know why I'm still alive. My brothers, the two of them, one of them passed away around 80 years old, and the other one, brother, that passed away as well. I don't know what happened to him. I never did hear why he died. But anyway, and why I'm left, I have no idea. But I did have an uncle, on my mother's side, my Uncle Henry. He lived till 92, and he was a very, very heavy smoker. Yeah, and he lived in Ireland until he was something like 80-something, and his children lived in California. And they just said, "Come on, we go over. And who's near you in Ireland? Nobody. Most of his friends all passed away, and here he is on his own in Ireland." So they told him, "Come on out to the US and we'll look after you." So they brought their dad out to California, and I went to visit them there in California. I drove down there so many years ago when I was driving, and he was doing fine, except he was running out of oxygen. That's what he had to have. he had to have an oxygen, blah blah. I guess his son was telling me that's because he smoked so much. He was a heavy smoker. But the thing was, one good thing about him, he wasn't a drinker, just a smoker. And a heavy smoker at that. But anyway, then I had cousins on my mother's side, and they went over to England to live because they were teachers in Ireland. And most of the teachers in Ireland in my young day, the schools were getting closed down because people were leaving Ireland to go to England to work. There was no work in Ireland, or very little at that time. So all my cousins and relatives were all going to Australia or someplace else. They weren't staying in Ireland. There was no work there. But anyway, finally, those who stayed, I don't know what kind of jobs they were at. But some of them were farmers, and of course, farming they got a subsidy from the government. But anyway, cutting a long story short, Ireland is still there. People are still going there to immigrate and have a good time. I don't know what to say about it. And I was always amazed to hear a lot of my friends who were Filipinos, they go there to live. And I said, my goodness me, what a country to go. For the Filipinos who come from warm countries, here they are going to Ireland, damp country. But of course, when you're young, you don't care where you are. And also too, the homes can be modernized. You can have not like years ago. What did we have? We just burnt every room in the house. We had a fireplace to keep warm. But nowadays they can have heating all through the house to keep themselves warm. Anyway, I'll continue this tomorrow maybe, or the next day. I don't know what you want to know. Oh yeah.